Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello. Yes, the doctor is always in. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK, and our show today is a woman's prerogative. I'm so excited to be doing this show. A couple of our panelists have the day off. So we say hello to Amber, Jay, and also to Desiree. We hope you're doing well. We look forward to seeing you next week. All right, who do we have with us today? Let's see. We've got Kathy Fulton. Hello, Kathy. Welcome. Yay.
Hi.
Hi. We've got Jenetta Barry and the Epiphany Process. Hello. Hello. And we've got Dr. Justina. Hello. Nice to see you.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi. And Tracy's here, but she's just not here at the moment. So I'll be filling in. I hope that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it'll work. I don't know.
What a treat.
Of course.
So backstage, we were just chatting, and I think this might be an interesting way to segue, but I'm going to have you introduce yourselves. But it might be interesting to talk about what it is that we can and cannot talk about. What does that even mean? We'll look into that in a moment. Let's go around and have each of you introduce yourselves. Kathy Fulton, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about your background and why you're doing this show, please.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, it's afternoon where I am on the East Coast. So I have had my own interior design firm for 22 years. And what I do is I help people create beautiful spaces that they love to live in, which I believe is so important. There's nothing better than living in a space that you absolutely love. And so we focus on really anything interior or excuse me, any room, interior or exterior space, kitchens, bathrooms, basements, and people they really do need help with their pool selections, because if you're creating this huge space, there's a lot left to be interpreted. So we can certainly help you with that. So I'm really enjoying being on A Woman's Prerogative. And I mean, I think the name of the show speaks volumes, and because it is a woman's prerogative, and I just love all of the topics that we're hitting on. I can't wait to talk about what we can and cannot talk about, or what we should and should not talk about. So yeah, I just want people to feel free and open to speak their mind without the fear of being bullied or canceled. So there you have it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And let's welcome Tracy. She's backstage. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. Nice to see you.
Hi there, lovely women, all the women on the panel, and Jacalyn. I'm excited to see everybody again and thrilled to be on again. So yeah,
we're happy to have you. Let's go over to Jenetta as we work our way around.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Jenetta Barry, and I operate what's known as the Epiphany Process, which I studied and researched after the loss of my 16-year-old daughter, Jenny, to suicide after she and I had an enormous argument. And I've had to find ways to get through my darkest hours. And with that process, I've been able to help people all over the world, from day-to-day challenges right through to even terrorist attack victims trying to find a new normal in their lives. And the reason why I'm with A Woman's Prerogative is that I just feel that the synergy of two or more people, especially two or more women on a platform like this, has the potential to change and impact so many women's lives all over the world. And it's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. And let's work our way around. Tracy, you're next. Please tell us a little bit about your background. Congratulations on your upcoming trip. This is very exciting.
Crazy whirlwind. Yeah, I'm I'm a little stunned still. So yeah, my name is Tracy LaMOURIE. I'm a publicist. I worked around the world with clients in all kinds of different sectors, from entrepreneurs to creatives to authors to filmmakers, and yeah, we're just talking there. Jacqueline referring to my upcoming trip, where I've been accredited for the first time, which is a huge industry big deal for the Cannes International Film Festival and the Associated Marche de Film, which is where all the wheeling and dealing and business gets done. So that's taking up a huge part of my May. But normally I'm just here in my office when I'm not traveling or working with clients. Again, working across industries, helping people elevate and celebrate their brands, getting them in the mix for awards, getting them in the news, getting them quoted as experts in their field across platforms and with television, radio, newspapers, and the like.
Thank you, Tracy. We're meeting on Monday to talk about what we're doing together. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Thank you so
much.
With all your projects, from the books to that. Like, let me get that. You're a PR dream. Let me tell you. Yeah, the new one. New bestseller too, right?
Yes, 2 bestsellers in less than 11 months. So that's pretty cool. Thank you.
Wow, that's no spin. That's real. You can't spin that.
No. Thank you so much. Let's go over to Justina. Please tell us a little bit about you and why you're here.
Hi, I am Justina MUTALE. I'm the founder and president of the Justina MUTALE Foundation. I am from Zambia in Southern Africa, but I live and work in London. I'm also the author of The Art of Iconic Leadership. This is the book in which I highlight the power secrets of female world leaders. I am a gender activist, and I've been advocating for gender equality and the empowerment of women for many, many years. I am doing this show just to highlight that it's a woman's prerogative to have her rights, to claim her rights, actually, and that women need to move from move from outrage to courage. We need to have the courage to reclaim our rights and also pass that on to the girl child, so that she knows that she's got the right to be who she wants to be in this world.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much. You're all so accomplished and so passionate, and I'm glad that you're all here. So let's sort of delve right into it, and I'll give a little bit of a backstory. When I was in my corporate career that I retired from in 2020, I basically worked in a man's world, and there were many subjects that I was not supposed to talk about because a lady doesn't talk about those subjects. Or Kathy shared backstage that she's very political and she's watching politics around the clock, and women don't talk about politics, and women don't talk about sex, and women don't talk about this, that, and the other. I don't know. What does it all mean? Who wants to start?
Well, I mean, let me just jump right in. I got over caring what a man thought, what I was supposed to talk about and not talk about eons ago. Because it's just, and what I have, I guess, really hoped for is that, see, I believe that women have gotten a bad rap over the years for not sticking together and not banding together. And so I've always hoped that we could get rid of the saying, much like you said, that it's a man's world. Why can't it be a woman's world? I mean, not that I want to compete, but I believe men made it this way, where they set the bar as what a female should and should not talk about, what's ladylike, what isn't ladylike. No, these topics, sex, politics, all of these topics are they're real world things. I mean, so I don't understand the problem with it, and I'll talk about it all day long. And it's not like I think what a lot of men don't like is when there is like a tough cookie kind of female. And I understand that. And I don't have any desire to project that. It's just that let me talk about what I want about. I don't judge men for what they talk about. So leave me alone. Okay, I'll stop.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Who else wants to share something? Justina?
Yeah, I think by even posing that question, you're trying to say that women are kind of second-class citizens. They have to get permission from from somewhere, somebody, some group, in order to choose what they can speak about. And for me, my slogan is actually to get women to lead without seeking permission, to be who we are without seeking permission from anybody, to talk about the things that we want to talk about without seeking permission from anyone, without thinking that this is going to upset our male counterparts. This world, for me, I believe that it's a woman's world. I mean, we speak about Mother Nature, the motherland, Mother Earth, everything that about mother, and mother is a woman. So it is our world. We should be free to tackle any issues that we want to tackle and that we need to talk about. We need more women in political leadership. We need more women to get involved in politics. It's the only way that we can get this world to turn around and go the right direction. The world has for centuries been run on the perspectives and ideas of men and aspirations of men, and you can see where we are now. So this is the time to unleash the feminine spirit into leadership. It's the time to unleash the feminine wealth into leadership, into economics, into politics, into society, into everything that the world has to do. And women do not need permission and should not think that because I'm a woman, I can't say this. We are the mothers. We create humanity. We are the guardians of humanity. We should be free to speak about any topic that we can speak about.
Wow, so eloquently said.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I was going to say just that. I think what a lot of people and men especially forget is that their very molding and their very sense of judgment and their way of moving forward in life was molded by their mothers and their mothers' input. And we were trusted and we are trusted to do that molding and to guide our children. And then there seems to be a cutoff where suddenly a woman's prerogative and a woman's knowledge and a woman's insight no longer matters. It's like a switch. Okay, it doesn't matter anymore and it's irrelevant. And that's basically an insecurity, in my opinion. And when a woman can step forward without having to be vitriolic, can step forward in courage and truth and go, this is the truth. And you can do it on a level of power that doesn't need to be shouted or screamed or be too radical. That is when mountains start being moved, when you sit in your power, centered and certain and focused that what you have to say is your truth and a lot of other people's truth. And we as mothers have molded our children to do that or not to do that.
Thanks, JENETTA. TRACY?
Yeah, both. I want to just both of what everybody's here has been saying. I want to really expand on you. You're all making me think of. I have a friend. She's a client too, but she's a friend first and foremost. And I want to bring up this what you guys are mentioning with the power of mothers. I first heard and started in this context of really changing the world through what we teach our children, and that's everything if you think about it. And she's the one who first made me start thinking about that. She originally came from which country? She lives in Canada. She's from Africa, which is a continent, not a country. But she lives here in Canada, and she moved from Africa to literally none of Canada, which is like isolated, like First Nations, Inuktitut people. And her book is called Mother, Behold Thy Son. And just anybody who's interested in this conversation, honestly, even if you pick up and read the back of it, I'm not trying to sell it, but just the concept is her whole book is about that realization of the power of us as women. And she's also seen as a gender activist, and writes in her new book is more about how we all have responsibility to fix things along racial lines. But her first book was very gender focused, and it talked about the power of mothers, like every one of us, how we are creating, like you all said, we're creating worlds and mindsets and humans and the way they're looking. And that alone, is hugely powerful, aside from all the other powerful things that we do in power as power women, But all of us as mothers from time immemorial, we have had that impact on the humans who go on to do other things. So yeah, it's really powerful thinking. Like, it literally gives me chills when you think about that kind of that we all have. Mother's Day originally was, if you Google it, was, actually an anti-war thing originally, but because it wasn't even political, it was about mothers gathering to say, I can't remember, there's a long, beautiful quote where it's like, we will know, it's from the 1800s, we will no longer as mothers send our children out to fight the children of other mothers. Like, it wasn't even about political or what war you were fighting or anything. It was about like mothers coming together and saying, we don't want our children to die. So it's really interesting to think about that, like, aside from not the political and geopolitical things of today, but just in general, mothers forever sending their sons up to war to fight other people's battles, right? It's really like,
yeah, interesting. Thank you, Tracy. So aside from when we see something on network television about the women's movement or women banding together or women are taking over the streets, do we really feel, just in general through the course of our lifetime, that women are always really supporting women? Or is that that competitive nature that we say we're supporting one another in public, but behind the scenes, maybe we're not? Which you can look at that either way. I'm just putting it out there, tossing out a topic. So who wants to explore? JENETTA?
I'd love to remark on that. I think it's where a particular woman is operating from. If she's operating from a predominantly man's world, it's quite difficult because it feels there's this illusion that or it can be that they're fighting for the slice of pie, to be heard and acknowledged as somebody that's on a same level as a man, if it's predominantly male led and driven and women are marginalized. But I've noticed as we've become more entrepreneurial and step more and more into doing what we truly are inspired to do as a woman, that sisterhood has grown exponentially in the last 10, 20 years in a far more authentic way than ever before. I think before there might have been quite a lot of lip service to say, yes, we are, but I'm still fighting for that slice of cake or pie.
Thank you. Justina?
Yeah, it's been said several times that women are their own worst enemies. So of course, you do find these quotas or pockets of women that are kind of fighting one another or trying to bring each other down. Women that have what they call the crab mentality, where if one woman should go up, they all try to bring that woman down. And also, we've been talking about, for example, in the area of trying to achieve gender equality, there's a time when the United Nations brought up what is called quotas for women, that each in everything there should be, for example, 30% women. That's what they started with. Of course, we fought for the 50%, but because the thing that just I don't understand, then who are we getting this permission from? Like I said before, but in deciding that 30% quotas, then that had to be fulfilled as an obligation for governments or corporations to show that they are trying to go towards gender equality as suggested by the United Nations. But because, as you say, then the men are in these positions and then they are bringing these women to fill in these quotas, then those women feel an obligation to play the game of the people that put them into those positions. So then they are actually not necessarily representing their fellow women. They represent the interests of the men who put them in those positions. But for example, with my foundation, I advocate for the bringing women and girls into leadership. So for me, I work very hard to try and get women into leadership positions. I do not compete with them. For me, I bring them up. I send the elevator down and make sure that it brings up those women and girls that I'm working with to the very top so that they can excel at their very highest potential. And we need more organizations like that. I'm not the only one doing that. I know that there are a lot of organizations that are working very hard to bring up other women so that to stimulate their potential so that they can work at their very highest potential. And this is what we all need to do as women. Of course, like I said, again, the world has been run for centuries and centuries on these perspectives, ideas, and aspirations of men, and we can see where we are now. That masculine spirit has not done this world a favor. We need the feminine spirit to step in now, and this is the time that we need to do that. And as women, we need to rise from outrage to the courage to take that stage, to bring up other women with us so that the feminine spirit can walk hand in hand with the masculine spirit. And we have that 50%, 50-50 planet. We have the yin and yang brought together. That's what we need to do.
Well, you know, Justina, I agree with what everyone is saying. My experience has been that, and what I learned at a very early age is, I mean, just as a child, I so enjoyed having girlfriends, like in elementary school. It was fun. But what I realized early on is that not everybody is for you. And I learned that kind of it's not a poor pitiful me, I'll preface it with that, but I was bullied just relentlessly in elementary school, and by a group of 8 girls, and so much so that I would miss school at least 2 or 3 days a week, and that lasted from the 2nd grade to the 5th grade. But what it taught me was to be strong and decide for myself and not really worry so much about what others think. And so that is kind of I guess maybe my benchmark with women. So as I've gotten older, I've really tried to surround myself with people that are for me, and it's a very, very small circle, because I mean, going back to elementary school, I don't like all the drama. I don't like that. And unfortunately, I think that a lot of women have a lot of friends, and they talk on the phone every day, and there's the keeping up with the Joneses, and who's buying this and who's going there. And I think with women, it can create the cat fights that we are notoriously known for. So I don't know. I've just really tried to surround myself. I'm very selective, just because, just like I want to be for them. I want them to be for me. But I just think that that's something that just is really, it flows through female relationships. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, Kathy, that's super important. I had another publicist told me once, she never told me who, but she told me that like some big celebrity person told her, but this is important to all of us. But she pulled her aside one day and she said, pay attention to who's not applauding for you. Pay attention to who in your circle isn't happy for your success. It doesn't mean you want everybody to be applauding and you want to be the center. But you know what? It means like there are people in your circle always that aren't so happy about what you do. And if they could, they would kind of, bring you down, like you said, to bring themselves up. And you don't want those people back. There's plenty of, uplift people that are willing to uplift and learn from. And the way I see it, I've never understood people who, I understand looking at someone going, gee, I wish I could be there. But to me, that's inspirational. If someone else can do it, then they were able to do it. Okay, how did they do that and figure it out? But some people seem to look at that and think, oh, why not me? Why you? And then instead of answering the why you, which is usually a lot of work that got in there or whatever else, they're just resentful. So it's a problem with them. It's not about
Right.
us. So you have to watch for it.
Right. No, I mean, your description of watch who's not applauding for you as much as who is applauding for you. And I mean, a great way, instead of being jealous, instead of being envious and sitting there and turning yourself inside out, get to know that person, get to know their backstory, because I can assure you they weren't always up on stage getting that award. There was a downtime. They were down in the dirt. I mean, I've been there a long time.
And if we can do it, like I always say, look, people go, oh, you've got it. If I can do it, believe me, you can do it. Because I didn't have this, I didn't have that, you know, like, and you too, look at the all of us here, you know, we've all reached successes in our field. We're all doing our own thing. We've all, whatever level we're at it at, it is successful because we are doing that thing, you know, and to get there, it's, you know, it's hard. And
it is hard.
I have a client too, who's just built this amazing beauty brand, skincare brand. And, you know, if you look at it, you pay attention, you know how much work it took, how much blood, sweat, tears, money, real work it took to get to that point. And then she's not done. She's got to still do all the marketing. But now she's at the point where people look at that and they're, oh, well, you know, she thinks people don't get it. They don't see all that. They just see, you know, this, and they judge them. It's sad because they're really like, they're feeling badly about themselves clearly, right? And instead of like, because they don't see that they could do it too. They don't see that there is a path. I always say to everybody, people that you see on stage getting awards, the people that you see on TV, you know, my awesome clients, myself included, they're not different than the people that you don't see doing those things. The only difference is they've figured out that component, or someone else has put them on those stages, or nominated in a piece of awards, nominated them for the awards. I've won a ton of awards now, but until people started nominating me for them, I'd never heard of them. And once I started hearing about them, I started nominating all these other power women, you know, and by power women, I mean all of us, you know, anybody doing something. I'm nominating all of these women, and they're winning awards too, because you know what? You know, all of us, most women, we've done incredible things, whatever the realm is, but no one's noticing, and we're not noticing. We just think and it's extraordinary, you know?
Yes, I agree. A comment that I want to share is the people I meet on this platform, especially the women, are so supportive. I feel like even though I've never met any of you in person, I feel the support, I feel the love, and I hope you feel me giving it back to you. Women who are not on the platform, women, and I'm not saying anyone specific, so if you're watching and you're a woman and I know you, and I'm not talking about you specifically, I'm just saying in general, big disclaimer. But what I find is, after running, let's say 25 shows a week and getting the book out, the women friends don't want to talk about any of that. They want to talk about, you know, I was mopping the floor. Listen, I mopped the floor today. I swept the floor and I mopped the floor and I cleaned the bathroom in between shows. I did that. I do that myself, right? But I don't want to talk about that. I'm interviewing people from all over the world. I feel like it's such an incredible gift, yet the women don't even want to talk about it. So I don't know what is up with that. I have male friends. They want to hear about it. They want to hear, you know, but then they want to go to the numbers. It's always numbers, dollars, how much you're making, what's coming. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that either. So I'm not sure who to talk to about what when I'm not on this platform.
Well, for me, it's about leading by example. That is where your truth and light is. And when you speak your truth and your light, it has a massive impact and influence, because any of those people who feel mopping the floor is more valuable to talk about have a different set of values to me or you or us, and are running a whole load of internal conversations that are preventing them from being able to see beyond the end of their noses a lot of the time. And to be able to just sit there and be in one's own space, those who go, gosh, I'd like a piece of that, will listen differently. And those who are stuck where they are for the moment are on their own journey. But it's definitely about the internal self-worth that gives a woman the ability to say, I want to find the courage to move forward, or I just want to sweep the floor because it's safer. and easier.
Right. And to dovetail off of that, Jenetta, what, to your point, Dr. Jacalyn, I think that a lot of people and really a lot of women, they have settled in their life.
Yeah.
And when they're not asking about everything that's on your platform and everything that's going on and mentioning, you know, congratulations about your number one bestseller and everything that you're accomplishing on a daily basis, it's about them. They see themselves, they know that they've probably quit their life. They've settled. They see you and they wish that they could be like you.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm talking to people about being on the show, sorry.
No, I was just saying.
Oh, I thought someone called me. Oh, okay. I didn't want to. I didn't want to talk over you. Sorry.
No, sorry.
But like for example, when I'm.
Yes, Kathy, go ahead.
Yeah. But. Okay, so when I'm talking to people about possibly being on the show, being a guest on the show, I talk about Dr. Jacalyn and as the producer and all these things that you do and how fascinating she is. And this is phenomenal. And she does 28 shows a week and she's just getting started in my opinion. And they're like, really? Wow. And I'm like, yeah, you got to meet her. And she's so easy to talk to. And she's so this and she's so that. And but it is phenomenal what you've done. I mean, I'm learning from you on a daily basis. I really am. And so it's friendships like these, being on a show like this, where I get to know really strong women and cultivate these friendships. And because we're all from different walks of life, different parts of the country, and it's fascinating, just fascinating to get to meet you all. So I think that's probably the common theme that goes through really either male or female that doesn't want to encourage you, doesn't want to talk about your life, your career. Just my 2 cents.
And I find that when I look at the ones that don't react or don't respond or don't think anything or say anything, there's a part of me that goes, okay, you're not in alignment with what I do, and I understand and respect that. You're on your own journey. So I choose to attract those that are in alignment with me, because if I had everybody in alignment with me, I'd be losing a lot of skill sets because I'd be so full of myself. You know, everybody thinks, yeah. So I give thanks to those who are not in alignment, because they're teaching me and helping me in their own inadvertent way. Without them, I wouldn't be able to have the focus. So they serve. So I allow them to step to one side and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I'm in that resonance where I choose to attract those who do have my value system and are in alignment. And then that's where we're sitting now. This is from my choice. And each one of us here, tonight's choice, we've attracted each other to each other.
Yes,
and then
I
that's
agree.
where the power is. It's like, wow.
Dr. Justina, I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, yes, I just wanted to agree with Jeanette. I was going to say that we are all at different levels in our life's journeys, in our awakening or enlightenment and consciousness, and also just in the things that we want out of this world. And we all, for example, I have different kinds of friends. But it has to be a matter of learning how to relate to those different friends at different levels in their life's journey. For example, the ones who are totally in love with mopping the floor, of course, if I meet them, we are going to be talking about mopping the floor. If it's about looking after the husband, we will talk about looking after the husband. And if it's about writing books, authoring books and reviewing books, we'll talk about those, because not everyone, like I said, is at the same level. So it's just a matter of knowing which set of my friends are at this level and who are at the next level, and who's going to understand me when I talk about the books. And like Jeanette said, yes, when you say I'm going to be on television, or I've got this book, there are those friends perhaps that just want to mop the floor, think that you are kind of showing off. And then, of course, there are those unmarried friends who, if one of the friends is talking about marriage, they think the friend is showing off that she is married and we are not married. So it's those kinds of things. But I think it's a matter of knowing how to relate to different friends at different levels in their life's journey.
Good points. Thank you. Tracy, would you like to add something?
No, I'm just I'm just agreeing and nodding and like learning from all of these comments. But yeah, absolutely. Just these perspectives are incredible, and that's exactly the way I feel too.
So when we look at a woman's prerogative, and Justina, what you just shared, friends who have various interests, is it okay if we let go of some of those friends who are not, like to Jenetta's point, they're not in alignment with where we are? Or is that actually not being a supportive woman? Should we support all of our friends regardless if we're on the same journey, or should we support all women regardless if we have different perspectives and we have different thought process about life?
I think that women at the same level of life's journey should support each other. But it's very difficult, for example, for a woman whose all she knows is about mopping floors to understand, for example, why are you writing this book? Why do you want women to be in political leadership? Because as in her world, as far as she is concerned, a woman should just be mopping the floors and looking after. So it's not that they are not supporting you. Perhaps they just don't understand where you are at. And no matter how much you want to explain to them, they will not understand you because their world is totally different from yours.
Good point. I have an example to share, and some of you may or may not have heard this, but for many years, I worked part-time as a makeup artist at Bloomingdale's and also Macy's. And I just did it because I loved it. So I had my corporate career and I had my doctorate, but I was also doing makeovers on the weekends and at night. And this woman came to the counter and she just was talking down to me. And finally she said, "What do you know? You're nothing but a stupid counter girl."
My God.
And I took a deep breath and I thanked her. I thanked her for sharing her feelings. And I said, I'd like to delve into that. I said, but I'd like you to understand, and I'm just sharing this, that I have a master's degree and I have a doctorate, and I'm actually doing this because I love doing it to help people like you feel better about yourself. So why don't you tell me what's going on with yourself that you decided to accost an entire stranger?
Wow, nice.
She shared with me that her husband was cheating on her and she felt really horrible about herself, and she comes to the store to buy stuff so she can feel better. So anyway, I got her in the chair. Wow. And she started talking. So that was one woman attacking another woman. And these kind of things happen. But when I got her,
you were supportive of her, but you also stood up for yourself and you didn't take any crap. And you taught her that the next time, and I like the way you framed it, I'm just sharing this with you. The next time, she'll be considering when she speaks that way to somebody, maybe they don't have a master's degree, but that doesn't matter. They're not just to anything, right? I love that you did that. That's like, I'll keep that story in the future.
Very much so.
And she became a loyal client after that, by the way. She kept coming back.
Wow.
And
that's class.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a...
Sorry.
Thank you.
That's okay. It's a really moot point. In saying that, resonating in your truth and light, the people that relate to you will fall away, and the ones that don't relate to you will fall away, and the ones that relate to you will be attracted to you. And that's basically what I was saying. That doesn't mean that anybody that doesn't relate to you doesn't feature or doesn't get interacted with. It just means that when they do, as Justina was saying, there's a different way of handling them, but they're not my not necessarily, sometimes it can be, where somebody will come in and they grow exponentially in to the levels where I relate, because they're growing in other levels that I don't relate. They're still growing. But being able to go to be there for people when they're not in alignment with you is something that is very important, for sure, and standing up for yourself. But what I was saying there is being able to understand that it's not about getting the ones that don't relate to you to relate to you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're on their own journey. So it's like, anybody who's in alignment with me, I'm here. And if you're not, I understand and respect as you go on your own journey.
Thank you, JENETTA. Anyone else want to comment? Kathy, heavy breathing. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. So I'll just stop overthinking it and just say it. So when I have an acquaintance, or even someone that I've considered to be a close part of my circle, and they're really not interested in hearing what's going on with me, I mean, I just go back to what my grandmother used to tell me. Everybody is always going through something. And so at that point, instead of trying to talk about myself, I just turn the conversation on them and just say, and ask them what's going on in your world? How's your work going? How's this? And I think, because whoever I encounter, I want it to be a good, positive experience. And so I've learned over the years that the more that I can get someone talking about themselves, then they'll walk away most likely and feel like that was a good conversation. I had fun. I enjoyed myself. And maybe it will elevate them, their self-esteem and their spirit a little bit. So, but I mean, I agree with what everyone else has said. And I mean, I think you did a great job the way you handled the person at the counter. I would not have the maturity to have done
we all learned from that right now. Like we all learned.
I'm just like, wow, check that one. I mean, that was very, bravo. You should get an Emmy for that one.
Yeah, I know. That's if there's communication awards, like I'm giving Dr. JACALYN one for that one. That's like, it did everything. It taught her. It was like, and the reaction was perfect. Like the fact that she came, listened, didn't walk away angry. She literally learned from that.
And became a client.
And became a client. So you taught her. It wasn't just a good snap off. It was like you taught her something. You changed something. You changed the way she treat people in the future. Everybody she meets. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Something we all that's the win for today.
I know, that's the takeaway, right?
Right?
Well, the other takeaway for me was that the time that I spent learning how to do makeup really ended up paying off, because I have to do my makeup for this show all the time. I don't have a makeup person, and I love makeup. So it was a really worthwhile experience. And we're already over our time. I don't even know where it went. It feels like we just started. So any final remarks that anybody wants to share? Let's go around. Kathy?
I've really enjoyed it. I have learned a lot today. I've learned how to handle difficult people. I tell you what, that is really one for me to resonate on and get that one down in my spirit, because I would have responded one of two ways, I can assure you. And it would have been a very different conversation than you had. And so, but I would have either not said anything at all, or I would have barked back, and barking back gets nowhere. So.
Right, you could have lost your job in that case as well for attacking a client, right? A customer.
Exactly.
You deserve it, but you did better. You went one better than that. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm with you, Kathy. I would have been the same. I would have either been like, and I'm not usually open, but I would have been probably too shocked, and then I wouldn't have known how to react. But so you not only said the perfect thing, but you said it like at the right time, not later. When you think of it an hour later, you're like, I should have said. Anyway,
one thing
yeah,
that my husband will say to me when, like, if I happen to snap at him, heaven forbid, I mean, he'll whip his head around and he'll say, "Are you okay?" Which isn't, how you said it is so much more. You doing okay? Are you all right?
Well, you know what it is? Usually when someone attacks you verbally, it's because they're in pain.
Yes.
Because they have something going on with them. So if you can try to get them to open up a little bit. In fact, I just shared this. Yesterday, we had the Power of Listening course, and one of the role plays was about a customer service agent, someone calling in, and a customer service agent answers the phone, and the customer service agent was snappy and wasn't addressing the person's problem. If you think about it, every time you make a phone call to a call center, that person is over and over repeatedly dealing with problems. Typically somebody complaining about something all day long. They're hearing this. So my point is that if you can turn it around and say, hey, I know we don't know each other, but how's your day going? It must be tough listening to people complain all the time. You will turn that around and have a new connection and maybe make somebody's day just because you took interest in them. So
you're right.
That's yeah.
And even just saying thank you, I appreciate that you're attempting to help me. Just those words.
Exactly. Jenetta, final thoughts?
Final thoughts is that, as always, when one sits and synergizes like this, I love that it's safe to throw in one's food for thought. Because it makes it safe for others outside listening to what we're saying to go, it's really important that I can speak my truth, because my truth can make a difference. And I think today's program encapsulates that. So as always, just so lovely to be here and create and be part of all of this.
Thank you, Jenetta. Tracy, I'm off to Cannes Film Festival. Is it Cannes or Cannes? Cannes or Cannes?
I was reading an article. They say there's a big debate. It's not Cannes and it's not Cannes. Apparently, the French say like Ken.
Like Ken, like C-A-N?
Like closer to K-E-N. Somewhere between Cannes
Ken.
and yeah, I was saying Cannes, but it's not the Cannes. We're not Cannes.
Right, and it's not Cannes.
Yeah, there was actually an article we were reading and everyone was, but yeah, apparently it's Cannes if you talk to a French person. So we're going to the Cannes Film Festival.
Very nice.
How long will you be there?
So we're there. We're missing the first 4 days because I didn't plan to do this until like a weekend. So we're there from the 21st right up to the end on the 28th, and then we're going. Apparently, the Grand Prix in Monaco is an hour away, so everybody goes from this one to that one. So we're doing that too, which is insane. I don't know.
That's awesome. Fabulous.
Have you ever been to Monaco?
Hilariously, when I was 21, wet backpacker, I was backpacking through Europe. We went from Nice for like an hour into Monaco. We got soaking wet. We were not dressed for Monaco. My friends were like, let's go to a pizza place. Sure, this is 30 years ago. Sure enough, they're like, we're closed. I'm laughing my head off going, told you. So I'm laughing. But now I'm going back to Monaco. My husband just bought an Armani tux because we're just we don't know what we're going to be asked to go to. That's going to be like literally black tie. And when they say black tie, they mean it. So anyway, now I'm going to go back and I'm laughing that I'll try to go back a little bit more stylish. Okay, I learned something in the 30 years. Now I can come back to Monaco.
Oh, that's fabulous.
But I'm way above my grade on this one. So wish me luck, cross my finger, everybody, and I'll bring all
have a great time.
Everything
you
back
will.
To you guys, so.
It's one of my favorite places. That's fabulous.
It looks beautiful. I can't stop watching videos. So thank you.
It is. Dr. Justina Mutale, last word to you, my friend.
Yeah, you started by posing the question, what should women talk about and should not talk about? I grew up in a family where we had both men and women, well, boys and girls. And in my family, you were respected according to your position in the family and not according to your gender. So everybody got accorded the same kind of respect, so to speak. And I also went to a co-education school, which means that we were boys and girls in class. You sat at your desk with a boy, and the boy sat with a girl in class. And even there, we were treated the same. You were given respect according to how you exhibited what you understood, what the teacher was saying. Say, for example, what marks or points you got. So if I got higher points than the boy, then I was more respected than the boy sitting next to me. So that boy could never say anything to me because after all, I am above him. And my younger brothers can't say anything or disrespect me because I am above them by virtue of my position in the family. And in the class was by virtue of my position in the grades. If I got higher grades than the boy, I got the more respected. So that to me has never dampened me to say, I can't say this in front of the men. It's what kind of men am I dealing with? Perhaps sometimes that is the kind of question that comes in. And also to do with girlfriends, like I said, we all have a different, we all have friends at different stages in life. Some friends that we went to, for example, nursery school or kindergarten with, or primary school and secondary school. We have some friends that never went beyond primary school and others never went beyond secondary school. Others never went beyond the first degree or beyond the master's or never even did the PhD. We just have to know how to handle these people. They still remain our friends. They still remain our relatives. And I think it helps humanity if we can receive a person at their level of understanding and deal with them in that way. And regarding people that come out and kind of shouting at you, like you said, there's this understanding that everybody is dealing with something somewhere. And sometimes they're looking for the weakest link to let out or vent out their frustrations in life. It's just to try and stand back and think, oh my God, what issues does this woman have? She must have. It's normally nothing to do with you. It's to do with the person that is venting this thing onto you.
Very true. Great way to summarize the show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm also going to spotlight each of you. If you'd like to share how people can reach out to you, say something about your website, that would be terrific. We'll go around. Kathy.
So you can contact me two ways. My website is kathyfultoninteriordesign.com, or just give me a call, 703-895-3798.
Thank you, Kathy. Over to you, Jenetta.
You can get me at theepiphanyprocess.com, and I'm very approachable and contactable there. All the contact places are in the front page, homepage.
Thank you. And Tracy, before you jet off.
You can reach me at lamouriemedia.com. You can phone me, or lamouriepr@gmail.com. And you can also phone me. The American number is Beverly Hills 424-444-8052, or the Canadian number, they both actually come through to my Canadian number wherever I'm at, is 289-788-5881. So again, lamouriemedia.com, or you can, if my name is spelled right under here, you can find me on any socials.
Thank you very much. Justina.
My website is justinamutale.com, and all my social media handles are at Justina Mutale on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere else, including Google. I am just Justina Mutale. You can get me that way.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. We are all going to sign off, and we look forward to seeing everyone next week when we will be rejoined by Amber J. Lawson and Desiree Richardson. So thank you so much for being here. We're coming right back with our Talking Heads program, and our Talking Heads expert is Mariska Dupree. Bye for now.
Bye.
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 Bye.